Hi everyone and welcome back. You know the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Well, the kit we're unboxing today doesn't even have a cover, so it's more like, can't judge a book by its cover. This is the CoreCast 1/72nd scale Kshatriya resin kit. The original design is by G-System, kinda like the PG Gundam ground type conversion kit that I did a year ago. It is a reworking of the original kit. But let's see what's in the box first. There is no fancy box like you would get with G-System. In fact, this isn't even the original box. But first thing first is the water slide sheet. That actually wasn't included, and I had to buy as extra, which is a bit ridiculous. The print quality is pretty nice, but not a lot of useful ones though, and will definitely need to be supplemented with extra ones. Next, let's look at the massive wing binders. The details are quite nice, but as you can see they are quite fragile and thin, so need to handle them with care. Looking at the other resin parts, I would say the casting is quite similar to G-System, which is to say pretty bad. But that's something that's quite standard when it comes to G-System casting. You are expected to do a lot of cleaning up. What CoreCast did as well was making the kit simpler in terms of details and part separations. It could be viewed as a negative, but to me it makes the work so much simpler. You have less fitting issues to work about, and masking isn't really a big problem with the parts being so big. So I really like the reduction of parts here. Something you won't find in a G-System kit is this whole collection of screws. What looks like IKEA installation parts, and freaking steel beams. The main focus of this rework kit is stability, and this is the reason I got this version and not the G-System. From my previous experiences with G-System, I knew there's no chance the plastic frame of the G-System kit can hold up all that weight on the shoulders. And I think it's worth the trade-off with the stuff that you don't get. Speaking of, let's list the things that you don't get in this version. Aside from the differences mentioned, this kit also doesn't include the huge set of metal and photo etch parts that G-System kits have, as well as the many LEDs. This unboxing is made by Merit Filban. Link is in the description, and he did a very nice job unboxing the original G-System one. These accessories are a big part of the G-System experience, and these are not presented in this kit. There are a few of these resin replacement parts for the photo etch, but as you can see the quality is very unusable. So let's build this kit. The biggest difference between the CoreCast and G-System is the lack of an inner frame, but replacing it with screws and metal parts. So what is special about this kit is CoreCast basically re-engineered the structure of the kit to be a lot more stable. If you've built a G-System or seen my other ones before, you know that the frame is really useless in terms of holding the weight. All the areas that need reinforcements are all thought out for you, so there's literally no pinning required, but you do need to drill your own holes. So you do need an electric drill and different sizes of drill bits. Also, most of the screws are Allen or hexagonal shaped, so you need a set of Allen keys as well. You'll also need to spend some time decoding the manual, as there are different types of screw shapes, but the steps are really clear, so nothing too complicated to follow. Is it just me, or do the screws look like the prescriptions you get from seeing a doctor? Another feature I really like is a lot of the parts that don't hold a lot of weight are attached via magnets. It is a really great way to make sure the parts are secure, but at the same time easily removable. Let's look at the arms of the wing binders, as these are completely new from CoreCast. There are so many screws used here to make sure each moving component is stiff and able to hold the weight of the binders. There are also metal plates here to add structural integrity. They might look a bit plain compared to the G-System ones, but I do prefer the cleaner look actually. And of course these arms attach to the binders with screws, so they will never come apart. You can see the arm is able to hold the binders in place without issues. Here I show the leg attaching to the waist, and you can see the legs are screwed into the steel beam to make the connection super strong. The screw on the side acts as a stopper for how close the legs can close in. The same goes to the arms and shoulders as well. There are even more screws here. As you know, the shoulders have to carry the weight of 2 binders, so having a steel beam means it won't sag at the shoulders, which I see quite a lot with the G-System version. And this is how it looks snapped together, and got to admit, this is very impressive to see it able to stand on its own, with a kit that is so top heavy as well. I did enlist the help of the wonderful Cam's pair of hands to hold it while I install the binders. So a base support is definitely needed, as a little push and this kit will fall over for sure. You might also be thinking, this design looks exactly like the Elin Kshatriya, and you would be right because the Elin guys were from G-System, so this is just the same design but a lot bigger. So what I like about this kit is obviously the size and how menacing it looks, and actually relatively simple to assemble because of all the reworking done by CoreCast, and because of that it is also structurally very solid. Things that are not ideal are the access. You will need to find or make your own parts, because the holes for the metal parts are still there, so it looks pretty weird if you don't add anything to it. Especially I don't like the look of the cables they provide, they look very plain. Second is that a lot of the screws are exposed, so some work is needed to cover them if you don't fancy seeing them in the finished build. And lastly, because there's no full inner frame, some areas are actually just empty, exposing the steel beams inside. So what I plan to do is just fill it up with putty and shape it into something that resembles a frame, just to hide all the structural parts. In terms of size, this kit is about 35 cm tall head to toe, and about 50 cm to the top of the wings. So it's actually about the same head height as a PG Unicorn, but of course the Kshatriya is smaller in scale. Also, I keep getting questions about where to get the kits I show in videos. Like, I don't know where you can get it, and for kits like this one, they are often sold out by the time I make the videos, so just please stop asking me that. Oh, and also I've purchased a set of wing binders that are made in plastic, so it'll be great in terms of having less weight on the kit and better casting quality as well, thus reducing work time. But that's all for this video. Stay tuned for when I work on this kit sometime in the future. See ya!